Hello? Hello? Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Today we are going to solve the biology KCET questions of the first chapter, Sexual Reproduction in a Flowering Plant. Let's do not waste this time. Let's start with the first question. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the first question. The nutritive layer that nourishes developing microspores inside the anther is. Dear children, just observe the structure here. This is the structure of anther having four parts mainly, that is an outer layer epidermis and the endothelium inner layer, and then after that a middle layer is present, and also tapetum is also there. So these are four different layers of the anther, and the one layer which is giving nourishment to the developing microspores, that is nothing but the tapetum layer. Let's mark the tapetum layer. So this is what the tapetum layer, that is giving actually nourishment to the developing microspores. So the correct answer will be the option B, tapetum. 1 minute. So the correct answer is option B. Tapetum is the correct final answer, that is giving nourishment to the developing microspore inside the anther. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the second question. The pollen grain wall has an outer layer called X, made of the most resistant organic substance known as Y. Dear children, just observe the structure first. So this is the diagram of pollen grain. If you observe here properly, here there are labels. So here this one is the intine and layer which is present inside the pollen grain, and here labeled as a X, that is an outer layer actually, outer layer, and it also contains a generative cell. This one is a generative cell and a vegetative cell also. A bigger portion is a vegetative cell portion, as well as a small portion is generative cell. So here the outer layer is X, that is called as exine, and the inner layer is intine, and that is made up of most resistance organic material, so that no material can degrade this pollen grain, like it withstand with higher temperature and enzymes as well as alkali. So that substance is known as sporopollenin. Sporopollenin. So the final correct answer is the X outer layer, that is called exine, and the most resistance layer, substance present on the layer, that is known as sporopollenin. So the answer is option A, X is exine, Y is sporopollenin. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the third question. Statement. In a mature embryo sac, all 8 nuclei participate directly in the fertilization. Is that true? Let's solve this question. Children, just observe the structure here. This is an structure of embryo sac, matured embryo sac. If you observe here properly, is that all 8 nuclei participate in directly in the fertilization? Not true, right? Because see, these three are antipodals, these three are also nucleus, and here at the micropylar end there are two synergids, these also containing one nucleus, and there is one egg cell that is also containing one nucleus, and at the middle, here in the middle there is a polar nuclei which is containing two nucleus, right? So during fertilization what happens, the pollen tube enters through the micropyle like this, and the synergists will guide the pollen tube, and through the pollen tube two male nucleus will be entering inside the ovary, and one male nucleus will fuse with the egg cell, and another one male nucleus will fuse with the polar nuclei. So it becomes 3N now. So that process is called triple fusion. So because of this, not all the nucleus are participating in the fertilization. Only 3 nucleus, this one egg nucleus and two polar nucleus are participating in the fertilization. So the final correct answer is option B, false. Only 3 nuclei participate directly in the fertilization. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the fourth question. Match the following. There are two columns here. In first column, they have given first A syngamy, and then triple fusion, micropyle and chalaza. In the second column, there is a answer, zygote formation, second endosperm formation, pollen tube entry, fourth basal part of the ovule. Just we need to check here whether the column 1 question is matching with the answer of column 2 here. So first one is syngamy. Let me explain what you mean by the syngamy. So here syngamy is a process of fertilization only. So what happens in the syngamy process? See, one male nucleus will get fused with the egg. So this process is called and forms zygote. Zygote, and this process is called syngamy, right? And then triple fusion, one male nucleus plus polar nuclei, and this process is called triple fusion. And then second option is micropyle. Third option is micropyle. Micropyle is the small opening in the ovule where through the micropyle region the pollen tube will get enter. Let me draw the structure of embryo sac first. This is what embryo sac. Here two synergids will be there, egg apparatus will be there. Here three antipodals will be there, and through the pollen tube male nucleus will enter in through the micropyle. So micropyle is here located, and so micropyle, so pollen tube entry. This is the region where pollen tube will get enter into the ovary. And then next option is chalaza. In chalaza is a basal part of the ovule. So this is what the basal part where the antipodals are located. So that basal part is called chalaza. So the correct answer is now syngamy is a zygote formation and triple fusion is endosperm formation, primary endosperm, and then micropyle is pollen tube entry, and chalaza is basal part of the ovule. So the given answers are here correct matching answers. So the final answer is option A, A1, B2, C3 and D4. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question fifth. Assertion. Endothelium helps in dehiscence of the anther. Reason. It develops fibrous thickening aiding in the splitting of anther wall. Dear children, just observe the structure here. Already you studied the structure of TS of young anther, and you know that there are four different layers, four different parts. That is what? Epidermis, endothelium, and then middle layer, and then tapetum. So here endothelium helps in dehiscence of the anther. Yes, correct. Because here the microspore has to come out of the young anther. That is what dehiscence process. So for that, from the inner layer it has to come out. So that's why endothelium will help in the dehiscence of the anther. And reason here, it develops fibrous thickening aiding in the splitting of anther wall. Yes, it also correct because Here it has fibrous thickening. It helpful for splitting of the anther walls so that easily the microspores can come out of the anther. So both the assertion and reason here true. So the correct final answer is option A. A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the sixth question. Identify the part labeled A in a typical pollen grain diagram which later divides to form two male gametes. Dear children, just observe the structure of pollen grain here. Let me explain other parts also here. See, this is the structure of pollen grain, right? So here there are two parts here mainly, and this is the outer layer exine, and then intine, intine, and this one bigger part that is called vegetative cell, vegetative cell, and then another small region is there, no? So that region is called, that is labeled here A. So that is called generative cell. Generative cell. This generative cell will be dividing further, undergoing mitotic division, undergoing mitotic division, mitotic division to form two male gametes, to form two male haploid gametes, haploid gametes. So the correct final answer is here a generative cell. So the labeled A is generative cell. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 7. Statement 1. The ovule is attached to the placenta by a stalk called funicle. Statement 2. The point of attachment between the funicle and the ovule is the hilum. Dear children, just observe the structure here and compare this sentence to this structure. See, here there is a anatropous ovule structure, and let me explain. So if you observe here, this is the anatropous ovule attached to the placenta. So here there will be a placenta structure and a stalk-like structure which is attaching to the placenta, that is called funicle, right? So the first statement is true, correct. And the statement 2, the point of attachment between the funicle and the ovule. See, the point of attachment, this place between the funicle and ovule, that is named as hilum. Hilum. So the second statement is also correct. So the final answer is here Option A, both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 8. Which of the following combination help prevent autogamy? So dear children, first you should know the meaning of autogamy. What do you mean by autogamy? Autogamy is a nothing but a self pollination. Autogamy is self pollination. So here the question is, which combination is preventing the self pollination in the plant? So the dichogamy, there is a mechanism. The plant itself has developed naturally some methods to prevent the self pollination. In that, a dichogamy is one of the method to prevent the self pollination, where both male and female part of the flower are developing at the different time. So anther, whenever anther is developing, that time the stigma is not developing. So the time will be different. So by this developing on different time, so at different time these are preventing cell pollination. And another process, a hercogamy, this is also another one method or have outbreeding devices to prevent the self pollination. So in this case what happens, both the stigma part as well as anther are located at a more distance. So the distance will be more between the anther and stigma, so that there is no any chance of pollen grain fall of pollen grain on the stigma. So this is what two outbreeding devices or methods which is preventing the self pollination. So the correct answer is here option B, that is dichogamy and hercogamy. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 9. Which statement correctly explains double fertilization? Dear children, just observe the structure here. Let me explain properly with the. So here, first you should know the meaning of double fertilization. What do you mean by double fertilization? So double fertilization is a process only in angiosperms we can observe. So there are two processes here taking place, that is syngamy plus triple fusion. Triple fusion. Both together called double fertilization. Okay, so how it is taking place? So here if you observe, these pollen grains are forming pollen tube through the style, and through this pollen tube two two male nucleus are entering into the structure of inside the embryo sac, where one nucleus fuse with the egg apparent egg, and that process is syngamy, and another male nucleus getting fused with the polar nuclei. That is called triple fusion. Triple fusion. So both the processes are called what? Double fertilization. So the correct final answer is here one sperm fuse. That one sperm means one male nucleus fuse with the egg and the another with the polar nuclei. So the final correct answer is option B. One sperm fuses with the egg, another with the polar nuclei. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 10th. If tetraploid plant is pollinated by diploid plant, what will be the ploidy of the zygote and primary endosperm nucleus? So it is a calculation. So let me explain properly. If the plant is tetraploidy, so tetraploidy plant will be having, so polar nuclei will be having 2n, 2n. So total it is 4n. Okay. And then the egg will be having 2n. Okay. So when male through the pollen tube, when male enters, so one male nucleus. So the male will be diploid. That means one male will be n. So 2n plus n will become 3n. That is zygote. And then here another male nucleus, that is also n, because the plant is diploid. And then here it becomes 5n, that is pen, primary endosperm nucleus. So the correct answer is pen is 5n and then the zygote is 3n. The correct option is answer 3n zygote. Option A 3n zygote and pen is 5n. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 11th. Wind pollinated plants show which adaptation? So here we are going to discuss about the characteristic of wind pollinated flower. See here there are four options. Sticky pollen. See if the plant undergoing wind pollination, that means the pollen should not be sticky because in the middle it will get stuck, and there is no need of colorful petals because it is undergoing wind pollination. No need to attract here any insect, so there is no need to be colorful petals. And third one, light and dry pollen. So the flower which is undergoing pollination by wind, that has to be very light and it has to contain dry pollen grain. That means so it can carry the pollen grain through the wind and easily it can reach the female flower. So the correct answer C. And D, nectar secretion is also not required because here it is undergoing wind pollination. So the final correct answer is C. It should be light and dry pollen. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the questions 12th. Assertion. The style serves as a path for pollen tube growth. Reason. It secretes enzyme that digest tissues of the style to allow the pollen tube penetration. So just we'll discuss here. So this is the style region. The female reproductive part of the flower has three reasons. One is stigma. Another one is here it is style, and this one is ovary. These are three main parts in the female reproductive part of the flower. And here the stigma receives the pollen grain, and then when pollen grain forms the pollen tube through the style. So it serves as a path for the pollen tube growth. That is correct. So assertion is correct. And then reason, it secretes enzyme that digests the tissue, the style, to allow pollen tube penetration. That is also true because here in the style there is a enzymes. So those enzymes will digest the tissue present inside the style region, and it allows the pollen tube penetration into the style to reach the ovary. So both assertion as well as reason are true here. So the final answer is option A. A and R are true, are correct explanation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 13th question. In an anatropous ovule, the micropyle lies dash the funicle. Dear children, just observe the structure here. This is the structure of anatropous ovule placed in an inverted manner, and there is a bending of the ovule here. And just observe here the micropyle. Here it is micropyle, a small opening, and that is lies to the funicle, right? So that is lies next to the funicle only. Here it is the micropyle. So here it is the micropyle, and here only the funicle region is there, right? So it is present next to the funicle, next to the micropyle. So here the correct answer is option A, adjacent. So next means adjacent to the funicle. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 14. Read the following passage. A. Assertion. In a certain plants like bananas and seedless grapes, fruits develop even without fertilization. R. This process is artificially induced in agriculture for commercial purpose. Identify the correct statement. Dear children, say there is a process called parthenocarpy, and fruit are called parthenocarpic fruit. Here the fruit will be developing without fertilization. So that kind of flowers are called parthenocarpic fruit. So the assertion is correct. And this process is artificially induced in the agriculture for commercial purpose. Yes, as you know that seedless grapes and bananas have demands in the market. So that's why here it is induced or implemented in the agriculture for the commercial purpose. So both the assertion and reason are true here. So the final answer is A. A and R true are correct explanation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 15. If an octaploid female plant is pollinated by a hexaploid male plant, calculate the zygote and primary endosperm nucleus. Dear children, just we came across same questions, say like same calculation we are following here. That is, in case of octaploid plant, the egg nucleus. So here let me draw the diagram, a calculation. So here I will do. See, here egg will be having, so in case of octaploidy, egg will be 4n, and hexaploidy male plant, that means here male nucleus will be 3n. So the zygote will be 4 plus 3, 7n. And then in case of octaploid, the polar nuclei will be 4n plus 4n, total 8n, plus here another male nucleus will be 3n. So total 8, 9, 10, 11. So here it is pen, primary endosperm nucleus. So the correct answer is here option C, 7n and 11n. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 16. If during megasporogenesis all four megaspores remain functional instead of one, what will happen? Dear children, let's observe the structure. Okay. So here this is the megasporogenesis process taking place in the female reproductive part of the flower. So during megasporogenesis, the megaspore mother cell will be undergoing meiotic division. So here it undergoes meiotic division to form megaspore tetrad. So functional four cells will get formed, four megaspore will get formed. Out of these four, usually three will be degenerated, only one will become functional, right? But here the question is, all four megaspore remain functional. If only one is functional, one embryo sac will be available. If all four are functional, then four embryo sac will be developing. So the correct final answer is option B, development of four embryo sac per ovule. So, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 17th question. Assertion. In the coconut, both free nuclear and cellular endosperm types are observed. Reason. Coconut water represents free nuclear endosperm while the kernel represents cellular type. Dear children, so in the coconut, what happens? Both free nuclear and cellular endosperm types are observed. Yes, the primary endosperm which has more free nuclear, so it is producing liquid coconut water, and towards the periphery kernel represent the cellular type. So both assertion as well as reason are correct here. So the final answer is a. A and R true. R is correct explanation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 18th question. During breeding experiment, a plant breeder removes anthers before pollen release and covers the flower with butter paper. Identify the technique and its purpose. Dear children, just observe the image here. So this is the man-made hybridization process to prevent the self-pollination and to get the hybrid plants. See here in this flower, both stigma as well as anther part is there, stamen part is there. So here from this flower, the pollen is, the anther part is removed to avoid the self pollination, right? So this process is called artificial hybridization process. The biological term is emasculation. So the correct answer is option A, emasculation, to prevent unwanted self pollination. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 19th question. In a self-incompatible species, pollen grains germinate but fail to fertilize ovules. The barrier acts at which level? Dear children, just observe the structure, and first you should know the meaning of what do you mean by self-incompatible species. See, self-incompatible species means when the pollen grains get fall on the stigma. So here there is a interaction between the pollen as well as stigma, that is called pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. So during pollen pistil interaction, what happens? The plant itself has developed some natural process to avoid the cell pollen grains. That means to undergo cross pollination, it is not allowed to form the pollen tube to the same pollen grain. So same plant pollen grain. So that is what we call self incompatible species. So here what happens, if it does not allow this pollen grain to form the pollen tube in through the style like this, what happens? Which is acting as a barrier here. So it will not allow to form the pollen tube. That means here the final correct answer is here the style. Style acting as a barrier, so it will not allow to form the pollen tube through the style. Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the 20th question. Label the correct sequence of forced fertilization structure, which is the correct order of formation. So here different orders are given. First, you should know the meaning of forced fertilization. That means after fertilization, whatever the events are taking place, those events or development is called forced fertilization structures or events. So here different arrangement is given. So first what happens after fertilization? So after fertilization, zygote will get formed, zygote to embryo, and then embryo becomes seed, and then seed to fruit. So the final correct answer is here option B, zygote, embryo, seed and fruit. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the 21st question. Which part of the stamen directly participate in pollen formation? Dear children, stamen is a male reproductive structure of the flower. So it contains two main parts. This is called filament, and this is called anther. As you know that the microsporogenesis process, microsporogenesis, that is producing pollen grain. This process is taking place in the anther only, right? So that's why anther is directly participate in pollen formation. So the correct final answer is option B, anther. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the 22nd question. The female gametophyte in angiosperm is commonly called. Dear children, just observe the structure here. The female gametophyte. So the female reproductive structure will be containing three main parts, right? So that is what? Stigma, style and ovary. So this is the stigma, style and then ovary, bulge portion. This is stigma, this one style and this one is ovary, right? So inside the ovary, after what happens? See here itself is a female part is there, ovary. So here what happens? It develops into the undergoing megasporogenesis and develop into mature embryo sac which is ready to receive the male nucleus. So the correct answer is here The option A, embryo sac. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 23rd. Statement: the function of style is to produce ovule. Dear children, just observe the structure here. Is that true? The function of style is producing ovules. Already just we discussed the part of what? Female reproductive structure of the flower. That is what? Stigma, and then style, and then here ovary. Right? So the style is producing any ovules here? Not, right? So the ovules are produced within the ovary. So the statement is not correct. So the final answer is option B, false. Carries the pollen from the stigma to the ovary via pollen tube. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 24th question. Match the following. Here they have given two columns. In the first column there is a question, and the second column with the answers. Mismatched answers are there. We need to match the correct answer. First one is funicle, second micropyle, third hilum, and then chalaza. So let me draw the structure of here anatropous ovule. Then you will understand properly. So there are 2-3 layers, and in the middle there is a ovule, and here nucellus is there. See, already we discussed the funicle is a stalk like structure, right? So funicle is stalk like structure where going to attach to the placenta. So for the funicle, third answer is correct, that is stalk of the ovule. And then micropyle. So in case of anatropous ovule, here itself there is a opening that is called micropyle through which pollen tube enters into the ovary. So the correct answer for micropyle is opening of the ovule. So here it is a opening. And then third one, hilum. So already we discussed that in the last question. So here there is a point of attachment between the ovule and then this what? Funicle. So this point of attachment is called hilum. So the correct answer is here third for C, second point of attachment. And then D, chalaza. As you know that the basal part of the anatropous ovule or embryo sac, that is called chalazal region. So here the correct answer is fourth only, base opposite to the micropyle. So here it is located exactly opposite to the micropyle, chalaza. Okay, so the correct final answer is here answer C, A3, B1, C2 and D4. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 25th question. The single functional megaspore develops into. Dear children, just observe the structure here. As you know that the megasporogenesis is taking place in the MMC cell, right? So that is what megaspore mother cell undergoing meiotic division. Meiotic division to form the 4 megaspore. Megaspore. So usually what happens? Out of 4, 3 degenerate, only 1 will be functional. Functional. And this one functional megaspore mother cell undergoing what? Mitotic division. Continuous mitotic division to form 8 nucleus. 8 nuclei. And then it forms finally a matured embryo sac, 3 nucleus at the chalaza gland and 2 synergid, 1 egg at the micropylar end, and then middle 2 polar nuclei. So the correct answer is here, the option A, embryo sac. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 26th question. Which layer of the anther wall degenerate during the pollen development? Dear children, just observe the structure here. Already you know that there are 4 different layers present in the teeth of anther, that is epidermis, endothecium, tapetum and middle layer. So in these layers, which anther wall degenerate during the pollen development? So during dehiscence of the anther, the layer endothecium will get split so that the pollen or microspore will come out of the anther. So the final correct answer is here, answer B, endothecium. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 27th question. Statement 1. Pollen grains are male gametophyte. Statement 2. They develop inside the ovary. Dear children, please read the questions or statement properly and understand it. See, pollen grains are male gametophyte. Is that true? Yes. Pollen grains are male gametophyte developing from the anther. And statement 2, they develop inside the ovary. Is that true? No, right? Because the ovary is female reproductive part of the flower. How come this male gametophyte can be developing inside the ovary? So the statement 2 is wrong, not correct. So the final answer is here. Answer B. Statement 1 is true and the statement 2 is false. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 28th question. Name the 3 cells at the micropylar end of the mature embryo sac. See, just observe the structure here. See, at the micropylar end, there is a structure. Here it is. Two synergids are there. Two synergids are there, and one egg cell is there. So, all together called egg apparatus. So, the final correct answer is here. The option B, egg apparatus. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 29th question. The part of the flower that develop into fruit is. Already you know that the ovary will be containing ovules inside like this, and the arrangement of these ovules inside the ovary, that is called placentation. Placentation. And these all ovules are attached to the placenta, right? So here this ovary will get developed into a fruit, and these ovules develop into seed. So the correct answer is here the option A, ovary. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 30th. Assertion. Pollen grains are highly resistant to decay. Reason, they contain sporopollenin in their outer wall. Dear children, already we have discussed the structure of pollen grain, right? So pollen grains are highly resistant to decay because it has the outer layer. It is containing the outer. There are two layers here. One is intine, another one is exine. And this exine layer, that is made up of the substance, organic substance, that is called sporopollenin. Sporopollenin, right? So because of presence of this sporopollenin, so no material can degrade this pollen grain. So both assertion as well as reason are true here, and the correct answer is option A, assertion and reason true, reason correct explanation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 31st question. In a flowering plant, meiosis occurs in PMCS, pollen mother cell, and microspore mother cell. Which of the following events is direct result of this meiotic division? Here it is, just observe the structure here. As you know that this flowering in the flowering plant, this pollen mother cell and microspore mother cell will be undergoing meiotic division first. So meiotic division, after meiotic division, it is going to form four microspore tetrad, four microspore, four microspores. So these microspores are result of the meiotic division. Okay, you already know that meiosis is taking place only the diploid cell, only in the diploid cell, and the result will be four four haploid cells. So four haploid microspore cells will get formed here. So the final correct answer is option B, formation of spore. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the 32 question. In a clistogamous flower, self-pollination is. Dear children, just understand the meaning of clistogamous. So just observe the image here. So here labeled as clistogamous flower. If you observe these flowers are always closed one. So if you observe here, these are always closed one. So there is no chance of cross pollination here. Only self pollination is taking place. So in that case, the self pollination is here compulsory. There is no chance of cross pollination. So compulsorily self pollination has to take place. So the final answer is here option B, obligatory. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the question 33. Which structure is absent in anatropous ovule? Sorry, which structure is absent in an orthotropous ovule? So already you have learnt the structure of anatropous ovule, right? So anatropous ovule structure will be having bending, bending curvature. So this is the anatropous ovule. So here it is micropyle, micropyle, and this one is funicle, right? In anatropous ovule, funicle lies adjacent to the micropyle, right? But in case of orthotropous ovule, what happens? The funicle is here and the chalaza is here and the micropyle is here. So the correct answer is here. Here that bending or inverted position of the ovule is absent. So the correct answer is here option C, curvature. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the 34th question. Assertion: megaspore mother cell is diploid. Reason: it undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspore. Dear children, as you know that, see, megaspore mother cell will be always diploid in nature. That means 2n. And always in 2n cell, which division is going to take place? Always meiotic division. Meiotic division is going to take place. So both assertion as well as reasons are true here. So the correct final answer is option A, assertion and reason true. Reason is the correct explanation. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa learning solution. Let's solve the question 35. In a dicot embryo development, cotyledons are formed from. So here, if you observe the structure of dicot embryo, see, let me draw the structure here. So this is what is of dicot embryo. So here hypocotyle will be there, radical, and then these two are cotyledons, right? Cotyledons. So the question is, cotyledon are formed from. If you observe here, it is forming from the apical part, right? This is what apical part of the stem, and It is taking cells from the embryo. So the correct answer is here option D, of embryonic cells near apical end. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 36. If pollen grain has 12 chromosomes, the sporophyte will have. As you know that microspore mother cell will be undergoing meiotic division to form 4 haploid spores, right? 4 haploid. Haploid means what? They are N. So these are containing only one set of chromosome. Only one set of chromosomes will be there in the pollen grain, right? They are haploid in nature. But in case of sporophyte, so here sporophyte is always diploid in nature because it is the main plant body. Sporophyte is main plant body and it is undergoing meiotic division. So this will be containing two sets of chromosome. So if you calculate this, 2n means 2 into 12, that means 24. So the final answer is here. The sporophyte will be having answer C, 24 chromosome. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 37. Flowers of Vallisneria are pollinated by. Dear children, just observe the structure here. This is the plant Vallisneria and this Vallisneria are water submerged plant. That means here these plants are water submerged plant here. So half part is inside the water and half part is outside the water. Okay. And here what happens? It requires water for the pollination. Okay. So water is playing important role here. And here the male flower will drop the pollen grains on the surface of the water and that will be carried to the another flower, female flower. Okay, so this is how the pollination taking place by or through the water in case of Vallisneria. So the correct answer is here the option B, water. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 38. Statement 1. Geitonogamy involves genetically identical pollen transfer. Statement 2. But functionally it is a cross pollination. Dear children, for this you should know the meaning of the pollen pollination. Okay. So here gytonogamy is nothing but transfer of, let me explain here. So transfer of what? Pollen grains from one plant of the flower to the another flower of the same plant. See here transferring pollen grain from one flower to the another flower of the same plant. That is what gytonogamy, right? But it is a cell pollination only, but functionally it is cross pollination, because as you know that the even though both the flowers belongs to the same plant, the morphology of the flowers are not same. Means one flower will be bigger and another flower will be smaller, and some difference will be there, right? So that's why functionally genetically it is receiving identical pollen grains only, but functionally it is undergoing the cross pollination, because it is transferring pollen grains from one flower to the another flower. So the correct answer is here option A, both true. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 39. In a pollen grain diagram, germ pores are absent in. See, this is the pollen grain diagram. Actually, this is the correct pollen grain diagram. So, if you observe here properly, see, there is a pollen grain, and on the outer layer germ pore is present, so that it can form the pollen tube through the germ pore, right? But here the question is, in a pollen grain germ pore are absent. So let me draw the pollen grain, outer layer, inner layer, and then two cells, one generative, one vegetative, right? So this one is generative cell, and this one, sorry, this one vegetative cell, vegetative, this one is generative cell, right? So generative cell will be undergoing mitotic division to form the male nucleus. So here, if you observe, enzyme will be not having pollen germ force. What happens here? It cannot form the pollen tube like this, right? So that's why this kind of this type of pollen grains are called non-viable non-viable pollen. Thank you. Sorry. The correct answer is here option C, non-viable pollen. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sankalpa Learning Solution. Let's solve the question 40th. Unisexuality in a flower promotes. Dear children, for this First, you should know the meaning of unisexuality. So this is one of the method that the plant itself has developed to prevent the cell pollination. So those are called different that will be having different methods, and that is unisexuality is one of the method. That means the flowers will be having either male either female, so staminate or fistulate. So that condition is called unisexuality. So here it is promoting what? It is promoting cross pollination and preventing cell pollination. If the flower has only male flower, it has to travel to the female flower, right? And if the flowers has only stigma, only the female, and it has to receive the pollen grain from the another flower, right? So there is no any chance of the cell pollination. So it is promoting the cross pollination and preventing the cell pollination. So the final correct answer is here, answer B, cross pollination. Thank you. So in the today's session I am ending till 40th question, and in the next session we'll solve the remaining 20 questions of this same chapter. Thank you.